An ordinary day, Yamaguchi did his regular routine as he would have done any other day. He got up early to help his father with breakfast, had prepared his own lunch with some help of his mother, ate breakfast with his family before heading toward his secret hideout where he played with some stray crows. This time though, Yamaguchi had brought a book about the human world to read to the crows. He has brought many books before, but this was his first one about humans. Humans were a mystery to Yamaguchi, and as much as he hated to admit it, he was curious about them. In Yamaguchi's village, humans were banned and they had defense systems in case any of them come near. Just from hearing that, even the 8-year-old Yamaguchi knew that humans must be dangerous, but whenever he gets the chance he takes books from his mother's office that are about humans and reads about them. Humans aren't that different from Kurawing though, which made Yamaguchi wonder why are they so dangerous. The only difference between them and humans were that they didn't have wings like the Kurawing. It's even more weird that other species were allowed in except the humans. Are humans really that dangerous? He thinks out loud as he stares at the velvet book in his hands. He lets out a sigh as he closes his eyes, moving his head up towards the sky. I wonder if I will ever meet a human and know what they are really like. Yamaguchi only chuckles at his own stupidity before his eyes widen. The smell of smoke had filled the air. He looks towards his village, seeing the clean, wooden village now burning to cinders. Running, that's what he did. He ran as fast as he could toward his house. Hoping, no praying that his parents were all right, that everyone there was all right, but before he could even get to his house he was stopped by his father. No, not that way, Tadashi. Run back toward your secret base now. His father yelled at him as he tried to push Yamaguchi back from the direction he came. Yamaguchi was only confused by this, but as soon as he looked at his father and everything going on behind him, he knew he shouldn't stay. His father had lost a leg and one of his wings were missing, only patches of crimson red where the wing used to be. The village was burning as screams from every direction were heard. He tried to drag his father along with him, but his father only pushed him away. I can't let you get killed too. However, it was already too late. 5 humans stood behind Yamaguchi's father, and before he could say anything was held down by 2 of them. One of the men took his father's other wing while the other 2 held down Yamaguchi and took his wing. The screams of the father and son were heard by the mother and wife of the 2. You dare harm my family! She screamed before using her sword to chop off the 2 that were holding her husband down. The one who took his wing grabbed his sword to try and defend himself. Without knowing, she was behind him and stabbed him in the chest 3 times. The 2 holding Yamaguchi had ran, whether it was to get back up or because they were cowards Yamaguchi never knew, because he was passed out by then. His mother had took off her wedding ring, her husband's wedding ring, and 2 necklaces that she was wearing, and carefully put them into Yamaguchi's pocket. I love you, my son. She cries as she kissed his head gently before handing him off to the only human she could ever trust. As the mother watches her child go farther and farther away from her, tears burst out of her eyes before being stabbed in the back by the second human she thought she could trust. 2 weeks after the massacre, Yamaguchi slowly opens his eyes to see a white ceiling above him. He looks around at his surroundings to find himself in a small stone room. As he makes his way off the bed, he felt the pain in his back, reaching for his wings only to find there were none. He finally fell to the cold tile floor, breaking down. He had lost not only his home, but his family and now his wings. Yamaguchi noticed as he tried to wipe away the tears on the shelf next to his bed lay his mother and father's wedding rings. He pulled them close as he noticed the 2 necklaces his mother had worn. One was a key attached to a string while the other was a locket. The key was obviously too big to open the locket and put the 2 on opening the locket with the push of a button located on the bottom of the locket. Inside said locket was his family. A picture is his father wrapping his arms around his mother and himself. Smiling brightly, not knowing of the dark bloody future that awaits him. As his mom only gave a small smile, but Tadashi knew it was genuine. She had her hair down, which was very rare, and even more rare was the outfit his mother was wearing. A dark green dress with white stare covering it. It did not look like an amazing outfit at all. Yet it shines so bright on his mother. Yamaguchi pulled the locket close, crying silently. He wanted this to be a nightmare. That his parents were still alive and his wings were still intact. He could even live without the wings if it meant his parents would be back. Though deep down Yamaguchi knew that he was never getting his family back again. A squeak of the door had him looking up to find a human. Humans who he had once dreamed of meeting. Humans who had destroyed his home and killed his parents. Humans who burned the village to the ground as they very happily took his wings. One of them was standing at the door holding a tray of what smelled like chicken noodle soup with a cup of orange juice. "Who are you? I see that you are up." The human puts the tray down next to the nightstand on the left side of Yamaguchi. He stares up at the man, ready to run at any moment. The stranger only sits down in a chair as he gives a small and sad smile to Yamaguchi. "I'm sorry. I wish I could have been there for your parents and the rest of the village. You were the only one who made it out alive. Your mother trusted me with your safety so you can grow up safe." Yamaguchi had remained silent after hearing the news. He wasn't super close with anyone besides the books he had taken from his father's studies and his parents themselves. They were still his people, though. They all had known him and his parents, and now they are gone. Because of humans. Why would my mother ever trust a human? Because I am a human who had gained her trust and the villages long ago. I remember when I told them I had to leave. I believe it was a couple days after you were born. You were so small and your freckles even more adorable. Yamaguchi blushes at that, even though he wasn't fully sure if he could trust this human or not. He will have to try. Since his mother was the one who trusted him. Look at me going on about old times while you must be starving. Please do eat. The man takes the tray off of the nightstand before placing it on Yamaguchi's lap. Yamaguchi stares at the food. He felt his stomach twist and growl at just the smell. "Thank you for the meal." He digs in, not giving any glances towards the stranger. Too busy focusing on the food in front of him. "I'm just gonna talk as you eat. My name is Itatsu Takeda. I happen to be one of the workers of this inn that you are living in. I don't know much about the supernatural, but I'm learning. This place is a safe haven for any creature that happens to pass by. If you want to, you can live here and make some friends with the creatures who stay here. Do you know why my mom left me here? Because it is currently the only safe place. There has been many undeniably horrible people who hurt others. Like I said before, this place is a safe haven. No one gets hurt here. Can someone bring back my wings? Can a person bring back my parents? Bring back the people in my village?" Takeda stayed silent before slowly shaking his head. "Then I will always be hurt. Sounds like someone is in an emo phase. So lame." Yamaguchi lifts his head up, his eyes meeting a blonde-hair male. He was definitely taller than Yamaguchi and his wings were a beautiful mixture of black and yellow. Somehow the colors didn't seem to remind him of a bee, instead reminding him of the eclipse. A dark figure moving in front of the light, swallowing it up whole. "Tsukishima, that is no way to talk to the guest." The boy named Tsukishima didn't say anything as he made his way over to Yamaguchi. "My name is Kate Tsukishima. You know, it's really lame to just sulk about something you will never get to see again. Don't you think those people would want you to be happy?" Yamaguchi stares at the boy before tears burst their way out of his eyes. He sobbed as Tsukishima got onto the bed and hugged him. His arms wrapping around the smaller boy, letting him cry into his chest. An hour of sobbing later. "Thank you, Tsuki." "Tsuki? Oh. Sorry. I couldn't remember your full name, so. If you call me Tsuki, I'm calling you Yams." Yamaguchi eyes widen at that as a smile crept onto his face. "Yeah. Yamaguchi, Tsukishima is one of the people who stay at inn. If you would like, he could give you a tour around the place." Yamaguchi looked over to Tsukishima, his eyes filled with wonder of what this place will be like outside this room and if Tsukishima will take him on a tour. Tsukishima simply jumps off the bed and holds a hand out to Yamaguchi. You coming or what? Yamaguchi nodded enthusiastically as he takes Tsukishima hand. Sliding off the bed and heading to see the wonders outside his small room with his new friend. A few years later. You thought I was gonna give you a tour of the inn? Nah, that comes later in the story. Smiling face with open mouth and smiling eyes, just gonna have to read the description as we go into the story. A few years later. Yamaguchi has already grown up by this time. He has been helping around the inn for payment for the food, schooling, and shelter he had gotten there. Every time he worked he had remembered what his father told him. Those who do not work shall not eat. Yamaguchi smiles at the memory. Before heading down to the front desk. Today was his day to work the phones for any scheduled rooms to be taken and for the occasional complaints or requests from those staying in the inn. Haven't you heard? Heard what? About the witch? What witch? The witch in the tower. They say her powers can grant one of the winged their wings back if ever lost. That's impossible. I'm serious, they say if you complete 3 requests for her then she will grant you any wish. Any wish? Any wish? There is no way someone is that real, and if she is, why hasn't been more people talking about her? It's because she has been locked in a tower by the humans because of how powerful she is. No creature of any kind can reach her with the barrier that the humans put up. If there really is such a witch that powerful, then she can grant me my wings back. I have to tell Tsuki. To be continued.